Hi everybody, my video today is about MTHFR. The question is MTHFR or is it mercury that's actually causing MTHFR type symptoms? The key point though is your detox pathways are a very key starting point for any really good detox. That's the place to start, and if you don't, you can have a hard time detoxing. And as I'll talk about in a few minutes, some people feel they've been damaged trying to do certain protocols without addressing the detox pathways. Again, every video I mention, I'm not a doctor, I'm just somebody that's been toxic and figured all this stuff out. And a lot of people approach me in different groups, ask for help, and all I try to do is point them in a direction of key things to look for. Not everybody's exactly the same, so you have to realize that. Take your own feelings and how you feel into your own hands and figure out what's best for you. But like just this morning, I was talking to somebody who's around a lot of chemicals and struggling. One of the very first things I always bring up is MTHFR, because if you don't address this and you try to do anything else, you're going to struggle, in my opinion. It was also a game changer for me when I started taking the supplements to address MTHFR. I started to feel more normal. I started to detox more normal, and that's all I really did to detox. As you'll see, it boosts your natural glutathione, and I believe that's all I did. I mean, I did other things that boost glutathione too, but this was the key. These colored items here are in every video. I don't always get to these because I run out of time, but these are my key things I talk to people about when they first approach me. No matter what you've done already, no matter who you talk to, no matter what somebody else told you, I will go back to these things, because you have to be 110% sure that you don't have MTHFR, your pathways are clear, you've removed your amalgams, and you don't have anything hidden in there that some dentist overlooked, and so on. So I won't beat those to death. So again, these are my numbered steps I want to go through about MTHFR. Again, it's the first thing I always suggest that people look into. People who have done DMSA chelation without addressing this feel they got harmed by it. I know several people. That's their conclusion. And basically, if you look at it, it's like you're trying to push toxins out while the pathways aren't clear. And that seems to just create a lot of problems for people. So be very, very, very careful. You don't get on chelation and whatnot without knowing where you stand with this. There's more to MTHFR and genetic testing than just MTHFR. So there's a whole gamut of genetic testing you can get done, and people will make a huge study out of you with all these different genetic issues. So don't get too deep into that. Address the things that are relative and get on with getting well. I mean, there's a lot of people that have a diagnosis 20 pages long of, genetic type issues, but they're not addressing heavy metals. So anyway, MTHFR is methyl N-tetrahydrofolate reductase. Okay, the two variants that are very common are these two here. I have both of them, and it says see chart, so I'll go down to my chart here. It shows how bad your detox is affected by the variants. I happen to have this one down here, so I was probably detoxing at 20% of normal, which answers a lot of questions as to why I felt so bad. You can see other people have other variations and other mutations. I'm not going to beat that to death. The point is, you can have one or two or both and different types of each, and it can affect you, from anywhere from 20% to nothing at all if you have no mutations. So that's the key. How much is being detoxed and how much is stored in you? I had a lot of this happening here. Okay, talk about that in other videos. I got tested by a blood test. 23andMe and all those ancestrytype.com places do genetic testing, DNA testing. You can get the results from that. Talk to your doctor about it. Your doctor may not know what you're talking about. May not know of MTHFR, so you have to educate them a little bit. That's how a lot of this goes. My doctor suspected it from symptoms I had, as well as I was born with a congenital heart issue. I have a different kind of valve. My mom had miscarriages. My sister was born without fingers on one hand. So a lot of things led towards possible MTHFR. The miscarriages was probably the biggest. Basically, you don't process folic acid. Don't get confused with folate and all these other things out there. It's very simply, you don't process folic acid. If you look around, it's in almost in everything out there, particularly like the processed type foods, the manufactured foods. So stay away from that stuff because we just don't process it well. It lessens your natural detox, which is glutathione. And again, that's basically all I really did, the detox, okay? I just boosted glutathione. The supplements I take are 5-MTHF and methylcobalamin. They're both B vitamins. I take the Thorne version of this. And actually, Thorne sells both of these, and I get both from Thorne. But you can also get methylcobalamin everywhere, and also from Pure. Some are intolerant to both of these. There are other versions to try, like folinic acid for this, and there's like a hydro, I think, methylcobalamin it's called. I didn't list all that because I don't take it, so I can't really speak on it, but be aware that you could be intolerant to this stuff. Might not agree with you. A lot of people think they're intolerant because they try too fast, okay? So ramp up slowly. A few granules on your finger may be way too much for your first dose. Take like 2 weeks to get up to the full dose. Start with a few granules, then an eighth of a pill, a quarter of a pill, half a pill, 3/4. Then get to the full dose. Don't rush it. If you do, it could trigger detox symptoms. I crashed like 3 or 4 times trying to get on the dose. I did not know about this. Somebody in another group told me, and thank God they did because I was about ready to hang it up and say, well, this isn't going to work. And it turned out to be the most important thing for me, and I still take these supplements today. It's basically your methylation process doesn't work properly. I want to jump back up here and write that in there. Okay, it's basically what this is all about. And what you're doing with the supplements is you're replacing the methyl version of the B vitamins to make that work. I recommend not taking B complexes. A lot of people are out there taking them. It's hard to sort out what might be not agreeing with you when you're not getting the results you want. So I suggest just taking those 2 pure supplements to begin with at the right dose. They say 50% of the global population has this, so you can say that 50% of the world out there is sickly. Does that make any sense? It doesn't make any sense to me, but on the other hand, that's what I see when I look out my window. You know what I mean? A lot of people like me struggling to get through the days. This article is very interesting. You can copy the link. I think I have it here. And it's all about methylation and gene mutation. What is really the truth here? And like I always say, if mercury causes methylation issues, and so does MTHFR, then which came first and what caused what? It's like a chicken and egg thing. I have my opinions and beliefs. I guess I'll kind of keep them to myself right now. What I don't like to see, and I recommend you don't get into it, is a lot of people go to an MTHFR support group, and that's all they do is talk about MTHFR. They don't get into heavy metals, toxins, all that kind of stuff. They have these SNPs that they're called. It's all these variations of the gene. I don't know if I'm really saying that properly because I didn't delve into it because when you look at the SNPs, it's all mercury symptoms. Okay, but the people that are in the MTHFR group think that they're MTHFR symptoms. Okay, it's the same methylation process problem. So you could figure out what came first. Taking the B supplements was a game changer, like I said. I already showed you the chart. Just general comment, this is kind of what I'm getting at here. Genetic diagnosis is readily accepted by everybody. When you talk genetics, we've heard that for many, many years. We don't seem to accept the heavy metal toxic possibility. Why? Well, because our doctors have not made it an acceptable diagnosis. They're not allowed to diagnose that. Then people look at me like, why is my information better than a doctor? Well, I lived it and I sorted through it, and doctors that aren't sick probably wouldn't spend that much time on it. They don't get that much training in school when they learn this stuff. I have a good friend who's a doctor, and he tells me all these things. Most of us who figured out our toxicity root cause are pretty expert at understanding others who are toxic, and then they can't see that they're toxic, or they were led astray by the doctor or some test that they used that said that their, toxic heavy metal levels were okay, and that's not their problem. So they really have this genetic issue. Well, just be careful how you sort through all this stuff. My levels were always low, and I seem to have a lot of troubles. This is a quick slide on all the things that conditions caused by MTHFR. I'll just leave it there for a second. As you go through this, I can tell you that all these conditions can be also related to mercury toxicity. So there you go. Interesting. And I had a lot of these. I had diabetes. I had, I didn't have a heart attack, but I had an abnormal EKG. Strange, a lot of digestive issues, addictions. I made myself almost schizophrenic when I was getting on this dose of the methyl B vitamins. So hopefully you're able to take a look at that. You can see all this is kind of interwoven, connected with each other. So I hope this is helpful. The main thing, like I say, is MTHFR is a very key thing to look into when you're first looking at all this stuff. I will not talk to anybody if they just won't look into this. People seem to want to find a quick fix. They want to take a pill and get well, and they'll run to a detox group and get on some detox protocol, again ignoring this MTHFR stuff. And I think that's very, very dangerous, and you owe it to yourself to at least look at all the facts that you can find in this whole problem, puzzle you're trying to solve or unravel. There's a lot of facts. They're hard to find, but when you find one, you really want to go after it. That's kind of how I got well. I luckily stumbled on MTHFR with my functional doctor, and I took the supplements, and I struggled through the crashing 3 or 4 times. I kept looking for why was I crashing, and lo and behold, I got through it. And then that turned out to be probably one of my best detox methods. So I guess that's all I really want to talk about today. I hope this is helpful. And please like, comment, subscribe. I know people pass my videos around. That's very nice. Hopefully this can help people. That's all I'm here for. And if you have any suggestions on things I could talk about or clarify or sort out, please let me know. There's millions of things. I think there's so many things to talk about every day, but I want to try to present these videos in some way to not confuse people. And like from number 1, 2, 3, 4, it kind of tells a story. So, all right, take care. Hope you all get well.